Hello, Walking Dead fans. This is Solid Dave Snake, bringing you another review on the Walking Dead TV Series 6 action figures by Mcfarlane Toys. And this review is going to be on our only female character in this series, and that is Carol. And Carol has become one of my more favorite characters on the TV series, and has really gone through some of the most changes of any of the characters in the show. And compared to her comic book counterpart, she is probably the most different character on the TV series from the comic books. She is really nothing like her comic book counterpart, looks totally different. The actress that plays her, Melissa McBride, does a great job, but was never written in the script to be like the comic book character. Really, the only similarities they have is her daughter, Sophia. So there are a lot of differences, and I like what they've done with her in the show, so I was really happy to get her in action figure form. But I have one main gripe about this action figure, and I'm just going to get it away right off the bat. I'm going to get in close here, and just like with the Maggie in the previous series, how I had problems with her head scan and paint job. Well, really with Maggie, it wasn't the head scan. Wasn't the sculpt, it was just the initial paint job, because they did correct it in later installments of the series, later shipments, the Target shipment they had. And I hope they do the same for Carol, because I just think this is a horrible likeness in the face. I mean, if this would have been series 1 or 2, I could have seen it being a little worse, but you know, McFarlane's been doing this for a while now, and there's almost no excuses. And you can almost see her in the sculpt. Like I said, I don't think it's a sculpt. I think it's the way they're painting these figures. Her eyes do not look right if I tilt her this way. But that is my one big complaint with this figure, so I just thought I'd get it out of the way right at the beginning, and I'm sure most of you have thought the exact same thing about this figure. But besides this, the rest of this figure is absolutely wonderful. And she comes with 3 great accessories. You can see 2 in each hand right here. In her right hand I have her snub-nosed revolver, which is a new accessory. And I'm glad we got one, because a lot of characters have used a little snub-nosed revolver in the show. A lot of the female characters. Lori Grimes used one at one point. Carol has used it. So that's really nice. And they could get another use out of this if they ever make a Lori Grimes figure, which I really hope they do, just so we can round out the cast of characters. I know a lot of people didn't care for, but I think it would be nice. And there's really no color variation in this revolver here. Just a solid black. And you can see the other accessory in her left hand, which is very fitting for the character. And that is a new gas can. This is not the same gas can that has come previously with the Charred Walker, or in the comic book series of action figures, Glenn came with a gas can. But this is totally different. It says Danger Gasoline on the side, with a bunch of small writing. That's solid red, except for the nozzle. It is black and then a white for the hose end. So I'm loving this accessory. And if you're wondering about the flames that were on my cover photo for this video, my thumbnail, they are not included with the character, but I thought I would show these off just in case you do want to pick these up and use them in dioramas, especially for this character. And you can find these flame pieces in the Marvel Legends line, the Spider-Man wave. There's a couple characters that have Build-A-Figure pieces that have these flames that go with the Ultimate Green Goblin you build. And there's these 2 smaller ones. And there's this larger one. The larger one you can find with Black Cat or Spider-Girl. And the ones for the arm, I know one comes with Spider-Man, and I can't necessarily recall who the other one comes with. But they're really neat. And her last accessory she has is this knife she's been known to be using throughout series 4 and 5. Or season 4 and 5, I mean. And I really like this accessory. I like the knife in the show. It's unique with kind of, there's brass knuckles there. And of course it's just a silver with little blacks there in the grip. And unfortunately, this knife does have holes in the grip, but the way her hands are, you cannot get the fingers through the hole. If you see, they're all connected. Maybe if you don't mind taking an X-Acto knife to her fingers, you might be able to cut them to where they would fit in. But as of pulling it out of package, this is the best you can get her to hold this. Which is kind of a shame, because it is a really neat knife. You can kind of make the illusion from some angles that her fingers are going in there. From right there, it almost looks like it, but you might just want to try to slice in between those fingers and fit them in if you want a little more natural, detailed grip on this. But I love all the new accessories that we got with her, and a lot of the characters in this series have new accessories. I just think that's great. And now we'll go over the figure from head to toe. And we already took a look at her head right off the beginning of this video, so I won't go over that again. But her overall body sculpt and paint job is great. I like the little jacket that she has on. It's pliable. I'm sure you could remove it if you really wanted to, but then it wouldn't match up with the sleeves on her arm. There's a nice detail on the top and back of the jacket. A little bit of weathering to it. Undershirt coming out of the back. And I really like on both arms how one sleeve is rolled up and the other is all the way down. That gives a little bit of a unique look. And this is basically how Carol was dressed in most of season 4. Another little nice detail they had here is another revolver right in her belt line, which I think is pretty neat, especially if you don't have her holding the revolver. It just looks like she has it holstered. Another little detail on her left hand is a little green bracelet going around her wrist. And even on this hand, how they have the sleeve coming actually down over the wrist. Gives it a unique look. And of course that sheath holds her knife very well. And she just has some khaki bottoms, cargo pants on the side. Mcfarlane did a great job hiding these cuts on the back of this series. They did a better job than with some of their previous comic book series 3 figures that kind of looked weird on the back where those cuts were. And her boots are really unique. I like her boots. They have a lot of little buckles all over them. A lot of straps. So I thought that was definitely some unique boots. So overall, I like her design. Like I said, I just wish that head would be better, more accurate. And articulation wise, she really shines. Her head will rotate all the way around and look this far up and this far down. And her shoulders are on a ball joint and a hinge, which will go that far out and all the way around. Same thing with the elbows. They'll go all the way up and hyperextend a good bit. And instead of the swivel right here, it's back where the cut of the jacket is, which is a little different. Both sides are a little different there, and she still has the swivel and hinge here at the wrist. but not further up like some of the other ones. And same thing on this side. She's got that swivel right in there, and you can rotate and hinge at the hand. So her hands are a little different. And she does have a waist cut, but it is extremely restricted from the gun there in the way that her undershirt is hanging over. So you can't get much twist there. And of course she has that updated leg articulation, which will allow her to do a full split. Although I'm a little stuck on that side, but you get the idea looking at that one. And it will kick all the way up and all the way back. And you can see her knees are on a ball joint and hinge, which will go back a good ways, and hyperextend forward and rotate all the way around. And her ankles are on a bit of a ball joint here that you can get some ankle pivot out of and rotation. So overall, it's a really nice Carol figure, minus that head not being that accurate. So I hope they kind of update that whenever they bring this line to other retailers. I hope they fix the face a little bit, the paint job, and I can pick up a better version of Carol. So we'll see, guys, but stay tuned. I have more Walking Dead TV Series 6 action figures to review. So thanks for watching and stay tuned.